Who watches YouTube? Who notices that when you watch a YouTube video that the YouTube then suggests other videos that you should be watching based on what you've watched, yeah? Gets a bit awkward sometimes, doesn't it? So 2013, I've been watching some videos online. Who watches like TED Talks on YouTube? Yeah. Who watches like business and marketing videos on YouTube? Who watches James Tuckerman walking down the street on YouTube with his selfie stick talking about shit, yeah? So 2013, I see these videos start coming up in my feed suggesting that I watch these videos. And I start watching these videos and this guy's talking about SEO and how SEO is changing and a whole bunch of different ideas. And I'm like, first thing I notice is this guy's got an Australian accent. I'm like, this is interesting because most times when you see like an expert on YouTube talking about stuff, it's like a loud, obnoxious American. Apologies to any Americans in the room. And this guy's Australian. And I'm thinking, this is interesting. And so I start watching this guy, and like instantly I'm kind of like, I've got my arms folded. I'm like, who is this wanker on YouTube? Reckons he knows shit, right? And so I watch a video, and then I watch another one, and then you kind of get sucked into the matrix, don't you? It's like, I know where this is going, right? And so like over the period of a week, while I'm working, I'm actually doing some work at the same time. I've been watching all these videos, and I felt like I got to know this guy. And I was asked to speak at a conference, and so we have like a speaker's dinner the night before the conference. And I'm sitting there at the speaker's dinner. And those things are always freaking awkward, right? Because you don't know anyone there and you're all there because, someone's asked you to speak. And so you're all kind of doing that whole thing where you're like, who the hell are you? And what do you know? And they're doing that to you. And so the whole thing's like a first date, like with lots of people, right? So it's really awkward. And so I'm sitting there, trying to find my place in this thing. And this guy walks in and sits right next to me, and before I realised, I'm like, holy shit, man, I've been watching your videos. It just fell out of my mouth. I've been watching your videos all week on YouTube. He's like, oh, wow, thanks, man, that's cool. And I'm like, you're really good, I really like your stuff. And he's like, oh, thanks, And then I'm like trying to compose myself and not be awkward about the whole thing. And so I say to him, what is it you actually do besides put videos on YouTube? He said, well, I've got an SEO company and a video production company. And I'm like, you've got an SEO company? No shit, how's that working out? Because, that's like a really hard sell, isn't it? He said, well, yeah, SEO's changing, and kind of gave me a few insights into how the face of SEO is changing. And we kind of got chatting, and I kind of knew all this stuff, right? And I had this idea for a business in the back of my head that was rolling around. It'd been rolling around for a little while. And over dinner, we got chatting, and he basically laid out this extremely simple, what seemed like a numpty, stupid, simple approach to SEO, which was effectively content marketing. And in 2013, no one was really talking about content marketing except maybe Joe Polizzi from the Content Marketing Institute, but everyone else was still kind of trying to figure this out. And I listened to this guy tell me about his method and his approach. And the number one thing I got out of it was video is the big opportunity. And I knew this because the reason that I think video is the biggest opportunity is because most people are too shit scared to get in front of the camera and do it, except James Tuckerman, who does it while he's grocery shopping at Woolies, right? Most people are too shit scared to put the camera on, and that's why there's such a huge opportunity for anyone who is prepared to get on camera and actually bond with the audience. But then I kind of started to think about, and what this guy was telling me was, don't make a video. Don't just make a video. Like a video, the reason that video is so good is because when you make a video, generally it's scripted, which means you've got some text. You make a video which then has audio, which you can then slice out, and you've got audio content. You can cut the video up into multiple different videos which you can then propagate. And he said the best thing for video is if you're running a workshop or if you're doing a keynote presentation, because you've then got like a 45-minute video, which is a lot of content that you can then slice and dice up. And I'm thinking, I'm doing a talk tomorrow morning at this conference, and it's about 45 minutes, and they're going to video it. This is a great opportunity. So what happens is I do this talk, they video the talk, and it was a great talk, by the way. It was called 101 Ways to Elevate Yourself and Demand Higher Fees. And it was, like, hand on heart, as humble as I can be, it was a rock star performance. It was just shit hot. And a lot of people afterwards were asking for the video of it because they missed it or they couldn't get to the conference. And the guys that videoed it screwed up the audio. So I had this great video. And I'm like, ugh. So this idea is still rolling around in the back of my head. I've got to leverage this in some way. I thought, you know what? I'm going to reshoot this video in my office with my webcam on my laptop. So I pulled up the presentation that I gave on the weekend and I rolled through it again and I put my webcam on and I just gave the same presentation to the wall. And I filmed it and I cut it up into 101. I posted it up in its entirety and then I cut it up into 101 different videos and it became 101 different blog posts and it became 101 episodes of a dedicated limited edition podcast that we syndicated out. The slides became a slideshow presentation on SlideShare. The PDF became an ebook that you could download in exchange for an email address. And I don't want to use the V word, right? But it kind of went viral. And I got asked to speak at conferences in Arizona and Chicago, which I did. And it became, that one piece of content became our entire content marketing strategy for 2.5 years. Everything we did was based around that one flagship piece of content. And if you ask anyone in the WordPress web design space about the 101 ways to elevate and demand higher fees, they'll know what you're talking about because it got shared. It got shared in private Facebook groups and forums that I didn't even know existed, right? And it became the biggest lead generator and the biggest source of sales for us. And that little idea that I had 3 years ago for that little company, about 2.5 hours ago, became a 7-figure-a-year company. And I'm extremely proud to say that the man that was sitting next to me that night was David Jennings, who wrote this book called Authority Content, and he's been a great friend and a great mentor of mine over the last 3 years. If you're holding this book in your hand, the only thing that's stopping you from turning this into $1 million is focus and the fact that you have to make good content. It's extremely competitive. So you have to know your audience and you have to make really freaking good content. You do that and this will do everything else for you. Yeah? So there's just a couple of other things I want to touch on and then I'm happy to answer some questions. That marketing, what I've learned over the years is that marketing, for me, it's not about revenue, it's not about sales. This is not about positioning yourself. This is not about making money. This is about positioning yourself as the linchpin. This is about positioning yourself as an authority, a linchpin, someone who's credible, just a really freaking awesome person, a really helpful person. Because the more helpful you are and the more value you add to your audience, the more money you will make. It's as simple as that. So this blueprint here, and I didn't even realize it at the time when Dave walked me through it that night, I didn't even realize how effective and how important this would become. So I would just urge you all, like we all go to events and we all get books and we all read blogs and we all listen to podcasts and we all watch videos and we all go to networking events. And most of this shit goes in our ear and out the other and we feel like we've done something good because we've hung out with a bunch of other entrepreneurs. Don't make this one of those things. Consume it, eat it, live it, really implement it because this shit actually works and it's been around since the Roman Empire. We're just doing it in a different way these days because we have this beautiful thing called the internet which allows us to leverage and connect with everyone else on the planet. So make this something that you actually do something with. Yeah? Thanks for having me.
What would make you watch this video all the way through to the end? Everybody's drowning in content. Everybody. As a business owner, you need to create content that engages your audience. It's as simple as that. Give me something helpful, something that answers my question. Now you've got my attention. You need a better way to create a lot of great content in a short period of time. You can't shoot a great video, make a fresh podcast, and write a quality article every day, and run a business at the same time. Trust me, I've tried it. It doesn't work. You know it doesn't work, otherwise you'd be doing it. But there is a way.